Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to the first broadcast match of the Magma group in this highway to the Threemus zone. My name is Smathy, and I'm joined in the booth today, making their first appearance as a commentator for Free Enterprise, Xenocat. Xenocat, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, doing fantastic. Are you ready for this Magma group?
I am so excited to see so many races.
Yeah, we just got finished with the first round, which means that anybody who finished that first round of 3 races with a 3-0 record goes straight to the tables. The Magma group is going to be the next rank here, and that is for everybody that won 2 of their previous 3 matches. And boy, there are some amazing names in this group. This has been getting a reputation for being a real murderer's row here.
Yeah, I know that if I was in Magma Group, I would be terrified of so many of these runners.
Yeah, and we've got 2 of them here tonight. Gambit017 and StupidSecksyFlanders both going 2-1 in their opening rounds. We've got some very interesting objectives here. What do you think of the objective layout here tonight, Xenocat?
Sealed Cave is interesting because that's a key item that we usually don't see runners really go after. The Lugae key not usually gating a check because of the warp glitch being on. But otherwise, these objectives look pretty friendly. Yeah,
of course, it's going to be a bit of a key item hunt for most of them. We've got 2 key items, obviously, behind the ever-present Focal Forge, and then we're going to need that Lugae key and Baron key to unlock those. So there's going to be some sort of key item hunting here. Defeat the boss of the waterfall is relatively free fight. There could be some nasty things that might limit our runners to be doing this a little later in the run. But yeah, overall, it's going to be a little bit of a scavenger hunt, grabbing that item, grabbing the key items we need to finish this off. And a young start, maybe not necessarily what our runners like to see, as he kind of blossoms later in the game. So it'll be interesting to see who his partner is going to be here.
Yeah, Yang really doesn't do too well early game. He gets really good at some higher levels, but until then, they're going to be struggling for early game damage.
Yeah, right you are. He can hit elemental weaknesses pretty well, so certain bosses, especially getting that Thunderclaw, which a lot of bosses have a weakness to, can have him do respectable damage. Has a ton of HP, which can be very, very helpful in surviving certain fights. Dark Knight Cecil comes to mind as a fight that Yang excels at because of that accelerated HP pool. But we're about to see who he is going to be complemented here with, and this will probably have a huge impact on what our or it won't have much impact whatsoever.
Oh dear.
And the Yang Gang coming out in chat here in force. So 2 punch mages means, boy, that's a lot of HP, but that is not a lot of damage going out.
Yeah, and King Queen Eblan at that Baigan spot, I would have liked to see them at a more difficult spot, personally, but...
Yeah, right you are. Now, we do have that Liberate Baron Castle as one of the objectives here, so this might entice runners if they get an early Baron key to try to get Baron Castle out of the way early, knowing that one of those bosses is going to be free. But I think a strong early stop here for both these runners is going to be to pick up some extra characters, someone that might be able to dish out a little bit of it.
Yeah, for sure. See them both going to Mysidia, where there are 2 additional free characters.
Yeah, just a few more weeks of these free characters in Mysidia. Once we get to the table rounds, they are gone. But our runner's definitely going to take advantage. Well, that's not damage. That's damage. So there we go. The other Edward, finally. So yeah, Edge a very, very strong early pickup here. Not only does he come at a very high level ability to dual wield and do strong single target damage, but he has that ninjutsu magic too, which he can fling out to do some really solid area damage in the early game. So wonderful pickup there for both the runners. I'm sure they're breathing a sigh of relief to see that.
Yeah, for sure. Edge will carry you through the overworld on these flags.
Yeah, one of those characters that is just fantastic from the moment you pick them up all the way to the end game, assuming you can get a little bit of hardware for them. Don't want to take those short swords into Zeromus if you can avoid it, but on this flag set with relatively generous shops and the Wildish flag on, good chance that we'll see some good katanas here for Edge. Looks like Gambit is not satisfied with the party he has right now, heading right over to Mount Hobbs to try to pick up an extra character here. And StupidSecksyFlanders not far behind him.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by this play. It's a little interesting that they're going for Mount Hobbs rather than one of the other free character checks, but with an Eddie in the party and still holding those two Yangs, the party's still not looking great for damage.
Now it's looking pretty great, though. Two Edges are better than one, and that is a fantastic pickup for both of them.
Yeah. The second Edge is amazing in the early game. Not so great later on, as it becomes difficult to find gear for two Edges, since each Edge needs two Ninja Swords in order to really be the best that they can be, but you definitely don't hate to see it early.
Yeah, not one bit. Already putting to use that ninja magic we were talking about earlier, that flame spell, able to take out both of Baigan's hands with a single cast here, and it is not subject to that reflect spell that Baigan puts up on himself. So that is a good way to get through that. StupidSecksyFlanders is through and is only going to check the first chest on Hobbs, not going to go to the back. Makes sense now that they don't really have access to exit, so it's difficult to get off of Hobbs as easy as it might be if they had Sayatella in their party.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's actually a good thing for both runners, too, is finding Baigan at that easy spot. Baigan could be a very nasty fight if he shows up someplace on the moon or one of those other advanced spots like the Feymarch royalty. He can be very, very rude. So definitely good to get him out of the pool now.
Looks like there was an antlion in Waterfall, so we'll probably see both runners coming back to that a little bit later.
Yeah, StupidSecksyFlanders just grabbing the intel right now. We know that is one of the objectives, and not a terrible place there, but since most of his damage is coming from Edges doing physical attacks, and Antlion counters every physical attack, probably wants to wait until he's got a little bit more safety.
Yeah. We see Gambit diving Antlion, looking to go straight for that key item check. Well, StupidSecksyFlanders is going to show us who's waiting for us in Damsian.
And there's Tella. Definitely don't hate to see it early in a seed like this. We just mentioned one of the benefits he brings to the table is that exit spell, which can make it a lot less painful going into some dungeons. And going through Ordeals gets him a very, very nice spell list, which has some great utility, including that warp spell, which can be used to do that glitch in Dwarf Castle and allow you to snag the sealed cave item without actually having to do it.
Yeah, and even though they do have to unlock the sealed cave, not having to walk through the whole dungeon for that key item saves so much time.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, this is one of the fights that Yang would excel at, but it does such little damage at this spot that really anybody excels at it. Not more the tickle man than the pain man today.
Indeed.
Get our little speech about justice, and we'll get some useful information about just what is available here in Antlion Cave. Artemis Bow. Great item. It's not progression, but maybe getting some use out of that Edward now.
Yeah, that Artemis Bow is probably one of the better pieces of weaponry that Eddie can equip. Second, probably only to the spoon.
Yeah, right you are. It's definitely not going to make him a hugely viable character, especially for endgame, because his HP total is just not going to get where you want it to be. But you can definitely get some extra longevity out of Edward with an item like that. With the number of characters that are available in this flag set, I'm not sure that he'll still stick around much longer, but if we are able to find a Rosa or somebody that can make really good use out of that bow, that's still a great pickup.
For sure. And we see Gambit now going into Watery Pass, where there is yet another Tella.
And this is great. He hasn't been to Damsian yet, so I'm sure he's going to be relieved to see that Tella. Might even encourage him to go a little bit deeper into the Watery Pass here looking for treasure, knowing that he can just exit at a moment's notice. And he's going to keep Edward around, getting rid of one of his Youngs for Tella.
Yeah, I can't say I fault him for that. Having 2 Youngs plus 2 Edges is a lot of demand for Young's Claws. So, and Yang is not the most useful character to have multiples of.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. And yes, indeed, Gambit is going to go a little bit deeper in here, hunting for treasure. This is a very popular spot on the T Wildish flag set. It's a dungeon we barely saw any of until the sort of the advent of Wildish, and as a result of it really not having anything valuable insofar as progression items or anything of that nature, it was given a higher value in Wildish to sort of incentivize people to make this play. And yeah, getting a ribbon there, that's a really good pickup. But is StupidSecksyFlanders over in Eblan Castle, it looks like?
Yeah, it looks like taking on the 3 Mad Ogre chest, which is a little scary at pretty much base levels. But
yeah, very, very scary, but a really nice quick infusion of experience points as well. The Mad Ogres, not only do they have a pretty high XP value, but they can be life glitched to double that up. And you get some really good treasures from these trap chests. So this is a little bit of an unorthodox play, but I really like it.
Yeah.
So it looks like the big finds in the Watery Pass were the Change Rod and the Ribbon, which is pretty decent loot. It's nothing that's going to make or break the seed for you. But definitely good things here for Gambit to pick up. And now it looks like he's going to make a play at Waterfall. We'll see if he's just scouting it or if he's actually going to take the fight on.
Looks like he's taking the fight. Which is... with 2 edges, I can definitely understand taking this fight.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do it at some point anyway, and while, you know, there might not be any immediate benefit as far as progression for doing it this early, that does gate off a couple of chests below that Gambit might be looking to peek into, get all his looting done so that at the later stages of the game, he just has to focus on going fast and not looting.
It looks like StupidSecksyFlanders is having a little bit of trouble with these Mad Ogres, but with that stop from Tella, should be pretty safe to get everyone up and finish this last Mad Ogre off.
Yeah, there's a couple ways you can neutralize the Mad Ogre. Stop being one of them, either cast from characters or using an Hourglass if you have one available. The mini spell, also very effective against the Ogres. Protect Ring is a pretty good find there. So yeah, definitely... I would say worthwhile with the experience and the defense that Protect Ring is going to offer. Should be very useful. And the nice thing is that is arguably the most difficult of the trap test fights in here. So StupidSecksyFlanders should be able to get through the other fights with ease, especially with that multi-target ninja magic that he has.
Yeah, the flame magic should get rid of all of these skulls quite easily.
And Gambit was thinking about leaving, but no, gonna make a few more... oh, no, that's right, he can't leave. He's got to go out manually.
Can't exit from the waterfall. Learn something new every day.
I still get confused as to where and exactly when I can use the exit spell or not. The warp one confounds me even more, where it decides to actually take you. I'm afraid of that spell. We're going to get a Baron check out of Gambit here, probably at the point where he can take on the fights here. We'll see if it's worthwhile. We've got Cal and another Yang.
Yeah.
Boy, this is a very martial arts focused seed as the French Vanilla Yang is there. Or no, that is flat out Vanilla Yang. What am I saying? Yeah, never mind. There's no French Vanilla here. Now, if he's also the second boss, that'd be perfect.
I don't see Gambit taking this Yang, but given that he ditched the one earlier for Tella, but we'll see.
Yeah, Mike probably way more interested in the key item here, and Calbrenna is a very easy fight with Edge. Single flame cast should punch their ticket here. Unfortunately, not fast enough to avoid the round of half a dozen physical attacks going on, but here comes the spell. And Dunzo.
And StupidSecksyFlanders is coming in right behind Gambit on this check, so it seems like they both have the same idea.
Oh goodness, we've got an Alt Gauntlet! So this is actually not a terrible place to find the Alt Gauntlet. Ordinarily, this spot would give no experience points, as in the base game, this is a 0 XP spot. One of the things the Alt Gauntlet does is you get the full experience points for every fight that you actually do here. So he'll actually get a little bit of XP for this, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And with that ninja magic on the edges there, should be able to multi-target and get through these fights relatively quickly. So, assuming there is a necessary key item here, it's not the worst spot to run into this fight.
Definitely not. Especially for that Yang who needs so many levels to really get off the ground.
Yeah, right you are. The edges, of course, they're probably not going to benefit too much from the experience here. They come at a relatively high level, so these early experience spots aren't going to be hugely useful, but yeah, getting Young's HP up to a healthier level so that he can act as the tank he was destined to be is definitely a good thing. So yeah, this was a very crowded table. Something like, 24 enemies and 6 dolls and Yang all sitting around this table. Business is booming in the Baron Inn today.
Yeah.
I really like the synchronicity from the runners here, despite having going to some different routes and checking some different places. They're both in this Alt Gauntlet fight at the same time, despite all the other options on the table here. So this is really exciting to see. We'll see if the key item here is something that might spark a route divergence. And resorting to physical attacks here might be out of MP on those edges.
It looks like the edges only come with enough MP to cast Flame 4 times, so once you've used up those 4 flames, you've used them up. And
that is good to know. I don't know that I've ever used enough ninjutsu to actually run out of MP, but here we go.
This is the last fight in this gauntlet, so should be seeing this key item momentarily.
Yeah, and it's one of the things where it's given StupidSecksyFlanders a little bit of time to catch up, since his edges are slightly higher level here. They were able to cast the flame in that last fight, and even though he went into it significantly behind Gambit, they're both exiting the fight at about the same time. There's the hook. That might be our Underworld Access.
Yeah, I don't expect either of our runners to dive that hook straight away, given we have a Tella and neither of them have gone to Ordeals yet, but it's definitely an option to consider.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel you're 100% correct there, that Ordeals would be the stronger play to make here, just to get that Tele powered up going into the Underworld. But I wouldn't be surprised if both runners decide to fade Fabul. I know a lot of people like to make every possible check to make sure they don't have to take the hook route, but this is a relatively strong party, so it might not be the worst thing in the world going down the hook route with this team, and they might want to get some of that double or triple value out of Fabul by waiting until you've got one of the either having visited Young or getting the pan and getting all three at once, getting a little bit of extra optimization there.
Yeah, there's no feeling quite like single dipping Fabul.
It's euphoric. It's the best feeling in the world.
While StupidSecksyFlanders is doing some shopping in Silvera, Gambit's going straight for Ordeals, it looks like.
Yeah, right, you are. I wouldn't be too afraid of much here unless one of the regular troublemakers in any seed kind of pops up here. This is a very, very strong team, and there is a Cecil! And not interested. No Paladins for Gambit today. We haven't seen any particularly amazing swords for Cecil, so it's not as tempting as it might otherwise be, especially now that we're using the vanilla agility rules, where Cecil sets the agility tone for your entire party, making him a little bit more of a liability than he otherwise would be. So yeah, not an amazing amount of incentive to take him right now, but there's always that chance a Crystal Sword pops up.
True, but finding a Soma drop on Ordeals is really nice for Tele, because Tele's MP pool is very limited, and getting that Soma drop gives him just that little bit of extra MP to cast some of those spells one more time.
Yeah, not to mention it puts the Meteo hype on the table. Oof, neither of our runners taking Cecil. He's just looking to climb the mountain and bid farewell to his bloodstained past, and no one interested in a redemption story here today.
I mean, I'd say it's kind of hard to be when you've already got 2 ninjas.
So the good news here, for the runners at least, is Evil Wall is now out of the pool. So if they do have to go down that hook route, this is not a boss that can stop them down there. Now we still haven't seen a lot of the particularly nasty bosses yet. So there still could be something very, very rude waiting on that hook route. But one of the classic walls, as it were, to completing the hook route is now out of the picture.
And just some Dark Imps at the back attack spot. Not very scary here. They should go down fairly quickly since these are a relatively free fight.
Yeah, sort of a classic fight that you're looking for in one of those late game spots for early easy access to either a late game key item or some easy experience points. But out of the way now, no problem here. Just the last obstacle on the way to completing Ordeals and getting Tele that spell list. And Gambit is through. We'll be going into the Kluya Shrine here and giving us a look and see if this hook route is actually required. We still do have that Fabul spot, as we mentioned, but I imagine that if there's no Magma key here, we might be looking at a hook dive.
Well,
I told
there's
you.
that Crystal Sword.
I told you, you gotta have faith in a Paladin. Gotta have faith. And both of our runners immediately punished for their lack of belief in the light. That being said, that Crystal Sword will sell for an obscene amount of cash, which if one of the higher tier ninja swords shows up in the Underworlds, that could help fuel a endgame ready edge with some high grade katanas.
Certainly. I believe the strongest katanas you can get in an Underworld shop are ninja katanas, but those are still very nice for both edges.
Oh, absolutely. I think you're right, and I believe they have, not only do they have high attack, but I believe they come with +5 strength on them, so just even more damage, yeah. And probably the easiest of the Lunar Sparkles is now out of the way with Pale Dim gone. So yeah, that still leaves a lot of nasty things on this hook route, so Scala did roll this seed, just so chat knows. And now it's Gambit's turn to check out Silvera, what StupidSecksyFlanders was doing early. So while the runners sort of retracing each other's steps here, we do want to give a huge shout out to Zoe Vermillion doing the restream today, and Jeebus handling the tracking. Thanks to both of them. Definitely give them both a follow. Without them, we cannot put this show on. So huge thanks to everybody in the restream team for volunteering their time to get all of these matches broadcast. And now the moment of truth on Gambit's screen. And now he's still doing shopping. Never mind. Not the moment of truth yet.
No, but it does look like StupidSecksyFlanders is going to check out Fabul before diving that hook route.
Yeah, if this is a check he makes that Gambit fades, this could be an interesting divergence. So we'll see. I've had number of seeds that look like they're hook routes, and Fabul ended up holding a surprise Magma key. So we'll see what's in store here. Now, as far as boss checks go, we have not seen Mist Cave, I believe, and obviously we haven't seen the Magus Sisters spot, so there could also be a Sneaky D-Mist as well, but that's a little bit less likely. Oh, never mind. Not anymore! So this is a bonus round for StupidSecksyFlanders. This could be big if Gambit does fade this. We still don't know because Gambit's still in shopping mode here. We don't know what he plans to do afterwards. But this could be really, really big. Oh, finding long swords. That's really nice.
Yeah, those long swords are going to be a huge upgrade for those edges, and they're relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, that crystal sword will easily fund those. So, you know, honestly, 2 edges with long swords, maybe a little bit more useful than a single Cecil with a crystal sword.
Just a package from Fabul Defense. Probably not going to see that walked through unless they find a really interesting character, and just an Octomam in the Mist Cave.
Yeah, Gambit checking for that Mist Dragon. Unfortunately, we know that it's hanging over in Fabul right now, and I am very, very excited to see what StupidSecksyFlanders is going to get after turning that D-Mist in.
We see that there's a Palom in the bed.
Good on you for knowing that from the back. I still have trouble.
The ponytail is on the opposite side of the dominant hand.
Wow, you're right. Huh, I'm going to remember that now. Good mnemonic device.
I got tired of turning in sand rubies just to find Porum when I already had a white mage.
See, I always kept them straight from Palom. Palom with the L has a lime green tunic. Which is the stupidest mnemonic device and is completely useless in the bed because you can't see their tunics. Okay, Zoe backing me up. They use the same one. Good, good, good.
I used that one. But it's not useful for the bed.
Porum is Porange. I like that one.
And it looks like Gambit might be going for that hook route. He's just raised his hovercraft and is heading for Eblan Cave.
Yeah, it looks like it. And like we said, with a team as strong as he has, absolutely don't fault this one bit. Whether or not this is a great play, we're about to find out on Stupid Sexy Flanders' screen. No progression. Good item. Certainly don't hate to see it, but yeah, looks like Fading Fabul is perfectly fine right now.
Yeah. The Zeus Gauntlet might be nice to get some extra damage for going through this hook route, and it would be real nice as terms of defense against the Madogre chest or the Staleman chest if you intend to take those, but not progression.
Yeah, right you are, especially since I don't believe we've seen any one of the boomerang items to get the back row glitch set on either one of these edges, so they have got to stay in the front row. And while Edge is a great character, he's a little bit on the squishy side. Oh, Starveils and Coffins in the Eblan shop. That is really nice to see.
And a power shirt at the bottom of Rydia's house. That's really nice loot from Mist.
Yeah, no kidding. There's no shortage of characters in either of these parties that would benefit from that. Obviously, the extra attack power is really great for the edges. Really great for Yang, too, because of the way his damage formula works. He gets a massive benefit from strength, I believe more so than any other character, just because of the way his damage formula works. So really good pickup. 2 life stabs. That's really nice for the white mages we don't have.
Yep. But the free curse ring, you can't complain about that.
Not at all. Ooh, Stupid Sexy Flanders running into one of the worst super bosses in Final Fantasy history, the Kaipo woman.
She can be annoying if you don't shove her into the corner.
Yeah, there's some frame-perfect precision you need to get past her. And the Staleman chest is taken care of. Gambit gets to dip his hand into the high-tier loot once again. Gets a ribbon for his troubles. That's 2 ribbons for Gambit. Very, very nice.
Yeah, one of the best magic defense hats in the game. Plus it gives resistant to mages, which could help if, say, the Mega Sisters are down here and punching pretty hard.
Yeah, we've got a couple of those magic-classed enemies that are still out there. So yeah, not something to turn your nose up at by any stretch of the imagination.
Will also help with that Madogre chest in Upper Babel. And could help with that, with the Ruby form of elements, if that's elements.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Ruby on his own, not a mage. Ruby, when he's part of the elemental quartet, that's the word I'm looking for. He is a mage then. Going with quadrilogy, but no, that's the wrong word.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if this is a vanilla leg, or if we have the elements.
I believe that is talent number 3 that has been passed up, so old man really wants his spotlight here.
Yeah, but there's not that much reason to take more than 1 Tella.
Yeah, if you've got Tella, you want him for his spell list, the utility that he provides, not necessarily for his battle prowess. So yeah, once you've got one Tela with that spell list, that's about all that you need. Mad Ogre's probably doing a bit of a favor to Gambit and ganging up on that Young. I mean, that's what he's there for, is to be a walking bag of hit points. So leaving his other characters free to sort of take control of the situation. Tela's getting that size spell we talked about earlier. Let's see if it hits. It does. Mini Ogres, and those are going to be very easily dispatched here.
Yeah.
Really smart play here by Gambit as well. He kept all of his essential characters in the back row until that size spell landed, and now you can see Edge is queuing up to get back in the front row so he can do damage. So really heads up play here for preparing for this fight.
Yeah, if you can't back row with the edges, but you want to keep them safe, you can always keep them in the back row until you make the fight free, and then move them up to deal some damage.
Yep, getting his life glitches out as well. We mentioned earlier the Mad Ogres are a very nice source of XP. Using that life glitch to double up on it. It's a very classic move here in the hook route. Getting you a nice experience infusion just before some really nasty boss fights.
For sure, and although I don't think elements would be too bad at the Ruby spot, Rubicant in his vanilla location can be rough, and if the King-Queen Eblan boss rolls to be something nasty, King-Queen Eblan spot can be a roadblock in and of itself.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But that's one of the dangers of the hook route, is you've got to get through two boss fights, and either one of them with the wrong boss there can really prevent things. Ooh, a full moon as the reward. Talking about the back row glitch, now he can get both of those edges back row glitched no problem, so he'll be able to set up his battle formation as he sees fit. Ooh, a moon veil as well. Very nice loot here. Gosh, I'm looking at that moon veil and I'm thinking maybe making a cheeky play on one of the Feymarch royalty bosses. If it relies entirely on physical hits, and you think you might be able to sneak and edge through there with a moon veil on, giving him basically immunity to the fight. It'll be interesting to see if it's something Gambit thinks of.
Yeah, the moon veil is a really interesting item, and one that I find that I don't take advantage of enough. But it'll be interesting to see if there's a Feymarch boss that can maybe be cheesed with the immunity to physicals that it gives you.
Yeah, it's sort of the Mega Elixir situation with the Moon Veil. It's so strong that you don't want to use it unless you absolutely need to, and by the time you think you use it, the seed's over. So. Always use your consumables, folks.
StupidSecksyFlanders taking the third Tela.
That... The only thing I can think of here that he might be trying to pull off is the full house, because now he has 2 edges and 3 Telas, but the World Series of Free Enterprise was a year and a half ago, so I don't know that that's a winning hand combination anymore.
Looks like it's karate at King-Queen Eblan. That shouldn't be too bad. Although...
It's a significant amount of damage in a team that really doesn't have any on-demand healing. Those single target physicals hit for a lot.
The first hit for only 200 fooled me.
Yeah. Gosh, if only there was a way that you could just instantly end this fight with a certain character. But gosh, I can't imagine such a scenario. So, maybe Board can work on that. And yeah, taking a wipe there, that is just an enormous amount of damage going out. And I'm trying trying to think of ways to approach that. Maybe getting some blinks up on Tella to prevent the single targets on crucial characters might be useful. I hate to pop the Moon Veil this early, but if it comes down to it, that might be a way to get through it.
But I believe what you're referring to with the way to end this fight quickly is if you have a Paladin Cecil and you attack Karate right as he's doing his second kick, or shortly after, Karate will just say ouch and dissolve and end the fight.
Yep, one of those story triggers that's left over that you can take advantage of if you're aware of it. Even if you didn't do that, though, Cecil would be very useful in a fight like this just because of his cover ability. There are a lot of physical-based fights where you can have Cecil either cover specific characters, or not necessarily this one since he's going to be kicking everybody. You don't want to leave everyone in critical HP for the auto cover. But still a very, very useful ability that our runners have passed up on by just kicking Cecil in the curve.
Yeah. Looks like Gambit has made it through on the second try.
And yeah, StupidSecksyFlanders going for that blink strategy we talked about, and very easy for him to set up with his 3 Tellas. So you know what? We laughed at the triple Tella, but who's laughing now?
There is something to be said about having lots of casters of blink.
Yeah, not only that, but even though he's not the greatest healer in the game, a single targeted cure 4 is still a full cure. And having basically 3 of those on hand with Tella could be some, healing in a team that kind of desperately needs it.
Yeah, we haven't seen a real white mage.
Wait, I take it, has StupidSecksyFlanders been to Ordeals, or did he skip Ordeals?
He did Ordeals, I believe.
He did do Ordeals, okay. Is indeed leg day here. This is a little bit of an annoying fight for this party makeup because Rubicant is going to counterattack every physical hit with that Fire 2 spell. So when all of your damage comes from physical attacks, it's going to make this a little bit of a slog, and his physicals hitting pretty hard. Now, the nice thing about Yang is he can use his power ability to charge up 1 turn for double damage. That is not considered a regular fight command, so it does not trigger the counterattack, but yeah, Edge has really no way to get around it. Thankfully, not hitting for much, but it is going to take up a lot of time with animations.
Yeah, if this spot was hitting those Fire 3 counters for much harder, I would consider maybe having the Edges use Flood or Blitz, which they learned right before this fight, to avoid taking those counters, but with the damage it's putting out, you're probably better off doing physical attacks here. And just taking the counters.
Right, you are. On StupidSecksyFlanders side, we see Tella contributing with those Ice 2s and actually hitting for a really decent amount here. The timing is a little tricky because you can only hit Rubicant with ice spells while his cloak is open. If you hit him while the cloak is closed, he will absorb it instead, and you'll be very, very sad. And Gambit, unable to take the onslaught of damage, is going to take a wipe here.
Looks like he's changing his anchor situation. Wasn't happy with Tella as an anchor, changing it over to Edward, who wasn't contributing that much to the fight.
Yeah, I don't know the exact hard numbers on what the agility difference is going to look like here between Tella and Edward in the spot, but if you're feeling like a boss is too fast, mix around that center spot. Trade away some items, try to get different agility setups, and see if you can find something that works better for you. StupidSecksyFlanders also taking the reset. Yeah, this is going to be a relatively difficult fight here for both of our runners.
Yeah. Gambit did have a curse ring, so his Eddie should be pretty slow. But it's still not going to be easy.
Yeah, not one bit. Because not only are you dealing with those high-powered punches, you also have to deal with the fact that every cycle, Rubicon is going to essentially kill off one character. So you got to keep that going. And ooh, that's the summon you want to see, but not when the cloak is closed.
Yeah. Yeah, just healing up Rubicon instead of dealing damage. It's not what you want to see.
Oh gosh, and we saw StupidSecksyFlanders going for that flood strategy you talked about, hitting for 2.2k. That might be the way to go here. My eyes were drawn to it from the animation we almost never see.
It's not often that flood is useful, but sometimes you do have to time it with the cape, though.
Yes, despite sounding like a water attack, there isn't a water element in Final Fantasy IV. It is an ice element, so it is treated just like the ice spells that Tello would be casting here. Gotta watch out for that cape. Oh, and he gets the well-timed Ice 3. This should be big damage. Yeah, 5.3 thousand. StupidSecksyFlanders is through and is our first runner to reach the Underworld. Great job. Gosh, is three Tellas the new meta?
After seeing that fight, I'm starting to think it might be.
So this opens up a lot for StupidSecksyFlanders here. One of the nicer things is he gets another character check if he decides to go to Dwarf Castle and take that out. It's a very, very popular first spot to check when you get to the Underworld in this sort of mid-game of the seed. Not only are you going to get 2 key item checks from the Warp Glitch, but you will also get another character here, and we are desperately in need of a white mage.
Yeah, for sure. The other checks that you might do are... There's a free chest in the Fame Arch, which is very attractive, but nope, going straight to Dwarf Castle, which totally makes sense.
Yeah, Fame Arch is always one of those more interesting places to hit just because of the length of time that goes that you have to walk through the dungeon to get to the Fame Arch. You get the free key item from the chest, but there still are 2 more checks in there to be made through the royalty sitting in the throne room in the Fame Arch. So if you can get everything done with 1 stop in the Fame Arch, that's obviously the ideal. It's a very difficult ideal to live up to because those are 2 very, very difficult spots. And putting off that free key item check from the chest in the Fame Arch until you're strong enough to take on the King and Queen, especially if that's a key item that you really need to get moving on in your seed, can be a very, very dangerous gamble to make.
Yeah. Looks like we have Dr. Lugae at the doll spot. This shouldn't be too bad. It splits up the HP from the dolls, which is normally quite high for this point in the game.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Having all of that HP spread amongst the essentially 3 monsters you fight here, both Dr. Lugae and Bahamut here, and then Lugae himself in the second fight, will make this a lot quicker than if this was just a single target boss here. Down goes phase 1, the immediate fight into phase 2 here. Gambit is still working on the Rubicant fight. Seems like he's made some headway in here. Tello looks like, I believe, is charging up an Ice 3 here. We'll see if the timing is good. Oh, no, that was a Cure 3, my mistake.
Looks to be taking advantage of the Dark Command to get around some of Ruby's counters.
Yeah, not to mention the slightly increased damage from throwing items in some situations, depending on what you throw. Yeah, it can be a really heads-up play there, but StupidSecksyFlanders needs to get in touch with Baggage Claim because his luggage is gone. And let's take a look at who he earns for his efforts.
How about another ninja?
Oh, goodness. No, not interested. I've got 3 Tellas. What do I need a 3rd edge for? This is a beauty of a scene here.
Finding Plague at the 2nd spot. And gets that Starveil off before Plague's count. This fight is essentially free at this point. With count,
yeah, that is
that Tella, Plague will just keep trying to cast count, and it will keep getting reflected. And until that Starveil runs out, there's no way you can lose.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a strategy that is kind of hard to get right because you've got to have a character to get in a turn before Plague has managed to get that count off. But everything fell right into place perfectly here for StupidSecksyFlanders, and now it's just Academic at this point doing enough damage to get through, and he is, and he's going to get 2 key items for his troubles.
And it looks like Gambit has used his Moonveil on this Rubicant fight just to protect one of his edges.
Yeah, I don't blame that play one bit. Like, at this point, you've got to feel like you're struggling here in this fight. It's a very, very difficult fight in the spot, like we mentioned, but something's got to give, and you've got to get through it. So, yeah, I think that's a really good play by Gambit to make some headway and try to get this seed back on track.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to use your consumable items. But that glare going right through that Moonveil. Oof.
Oh wow, I did not even think about that. Yeah, that is very unfortunate. And that's a rat tail for StupidSecksyFlanders, so that can be turned in for another key item. And an Earth Crystal, that's very, very nice. That could get a little bit of variety in his team that isn't 3 Tellas, and also unlocks a wealth of goodies in the Troya Armory. So opens up a lot of checks now for StupidSecksyFlanders.
And finding Sirens here in the Dwarf Castle item shop, that takes care of your grind right there.
Yeah, that is also very, very nice. You don't have to worry about how you're going to get XP for your team. It's all taken care of here, and a lot of things to sell here, like extra life staffs, Odin summons, Crystal Sword was already sold earlier, so yeah, he can get quite a nice supply of Sirens here whenever he needs to do his grind. And Gambit having to take another wipe, just going right back at it. You got to feel for him right now. This is one of those situations we talked about where you could just find an absolute wall here in this hook route. That's why it's such a scary prospect when that's your only option to move forward.
Yeah, and it looks like StupidSecksyFlanders has also found a ninja sword in the shop here, in the weapon shop here in Dwarf Castle. So managed to buy one, which is going to be a huge upgrade for one of those edges.
Absolutely, and depending on how much of the seed StupidSecksyFlanders has to end up seeing, if he goes to the moon and gets really flush with cash, hitting up that Dwarven weapon shop before going to Zeromus will be a huge damage boost for those edges. With both of them dual-wielding ninja swords will put him in a very, very good place for the final fight.
Yeah. Looks like Gambit's breaking out the flood strats that we saw from StupidSecksyFlanders earlier.
Yeah, it definitely surprised me the amount of damage that Flood was doing. So yeah, probably didn't occur to Gambit to try it, just because usually that ninja magic is of limited use. But in this place, hitting decently hard. So as long as he times it right to get while the cape is open, it should help him along in this slog.
Yeah, and because of the way the fight works, the Flood doesn't heal as much when the cape is closed. It just kind of hurts that you're not getting damage.
Yeah, it's a lot more painful with something like an Ice 3 that has such a long charge time, and then having to miss on top of that and have to charge it up again. That's when it starts to get painful. But yeah, the Flood's not healing nearly as much. That was a Moonveil over in StupidSecksyFlanders. Saves coming out. The Warrior's trapped chest in the Fame Arch, and picking himself up a Moonveil for his troubles was really nice. I think I saw some crystal armor in there as well, which will sell for a ton and feed that ninja sword addiction. So looking really good for him.
And there's that tower key. That'll allow him to make only one trip to tower, rather than climbing all the way to the top of tower where there's one key item, and then having to take a separate trip to go take care of the super cannon run.
Yeah, right you are. It does make chat's favorite play, the keyless tower. One of my favorite plays, too. Is now off the table because the tower key is readily available. But, again, it's just opening up this seed even more for StupidSecksyFlanders. Really just increasing his access to further checks here. Not taking the save, so probably not likely to take on either of these fights. Just getting some intel here.
That's Megan Sisters. And a Sweaty and a Waterhag at Basura.
Yeah, it looks like, going out to take the save now. Yeah, I don't blame him. That is essentially a free fight in Waterhag. And, you'll still want to save, though, because Waterhag still punches for a lot. So if things go badly, you want to make sure you've at least saved, but definitely take that now that we know the gauntlet's out of the way.
And Gambit is through that Rubicant, finally.
Excellent job for Gambit there. Really good persistence, and now he is probably bursting at the seams to get into the Underworld here and get on with this seed. So great job to Gambit.
Yeah, that's not an easy fight.
Ooh, and just like we mentioned earlier, those a Waterhag still hits hard. Tella unable to land the connection. You only need to hit 3 times in order to trigger the storyline end to this fight, but you have to actually hit.
Yeah, and I like to say Waterhag in Fame Arch is free with an asterisk, because if you can't get all your turns off before it gets all its turns off, you can still go down very quickly.
Free with an asterisk, I like that. I'm stealing that. That was a heads-up play, using the lit 1 there to at least get a hit in, since magic is guaranteed to do a minimum of 1 damage, even if all of your magic rolls miss, as it were.
Just getting a Magma key, though.
Well, this is the Magma group, so it's appropriate.
Yep. That is 1 extra key item towards that 10 key item double experience bonus, but not much else at this point.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, on Gambit's screen, going immediately for the keyless tower play, this is probably... I imagine what Gambit's thinking now is, I took a lot of time on that Rubicante spot. I can't make this assumption that my opponent was in a similar situation, that they struggled just as much. So now it's time to just start whipping out the bold plays here and trying to make a difference. So I really, really like this mentality here. Unfortunately, we know tower key is readily available. We don't know that the tower key is actually required for anything, but still, I do like the keyless tower check here, given the circumstances.
Yeah, especially seeing some form of Milon at the top of tower. It's... You know the boss is relatively easy. I don't mind this play at all.
Yeah, even if your healing is still lackluster, you've got that blink stealth from Tella, and the best kind of healing is the preventative kind, so you don't need to heal HP damage if you ever get hit in the first place. And you see, Edge is so fast that he gets to turn in before Milon gets to pontificate. Putting that Fire Claw, dual Fire Claw on Yang there to get the bonus damage. Milon is weak to fire, so one of the situations where Claw maintenance can be very useful for Yang. And as Chad is pointing out, this is another fight where Crystal Sword Cecil would be really useful. I'm just saying. There's a Sand Rubies. That's a Palom if Stupid Sexy Flanders wants him. But they might have to get rid of one of his Tellas in that case.
Yeah. I don't know who you get rid of. One of the Tellas or one of the Edges.
Time to see if Sheila does indeed have the goods.
I'd say that's the goods.
Those are goods indeed. Gosh, we were talking about how things were getting wide open for Stupid Sexy Flanders. They don't get much more wide open than that.
Yeah. Having that whole moon available now. Plus, a whole bunch of much more efficient grinds up on the moon. Definitely a huge advantage, but the adamant from Keyless Tower is also spicy.
Yeah, that is pretty nice for Gambit. He's got to be, if nothing else, that's got to be a big confidence booster for Gambit. Because, you make that Keyless Tower play, and you're like, okay, great, this is part of an objective, I'm on the right track now, let's go and get this seed righted here after, spending so much time on that boss there. So, really, really nice for Gambit, and hopefully this is going to be sort of the boost he needs to get back in this. A little bit of shopping here from Stupid Sexy Flanders. I imagine this is a prelude to going into the Tower of Zot.
Looks like he's shopping up for a D-Machine grind. Buying those Ether 2s and Life Potions.
Oh, you know what? I believe you're right. Huh. Now, if you're in the position that Stupid Sexy Flanders is, would you want to do the D-Machine grind now? Or would you want to do Zot, see what characters are available there, and then do a D-Machine grind? So I can't imagine 3 Tellas, 2 Edges is an ideal endgame party.
I would probably want to do Zot and Tower of Bangalore or Babel, most likely, just because he's sitting at 8 key items right now. And if he gets just 2 more key items, that's a huge experience boost, and that can cut your grind in half.
Well, we got a package check, and it's just a Spoony Bard with no spoon to go along with it, so not enticing at all to Stupid Sexy Flanders here. With everybody's wishes, we'll raise the magic brine shrimp from the depths of the ocean. And I imagine he's got a moon character check on his mind right here.
Probably.
Oscar has been asking, how high level does Tela need to be to do real damage? That is a really good question. I don't have an exact answer. I know that even within the levels that are reasonably achieved in a free enterprise run, he's never going to do an appreciable amount of damage. I don't know what a level 99 Tela looks like, but might be interesting to see one of these days.
Tela can do some chip damage with Virus, but even at the levels you'd normally be getting to it by the end of the seed, he's probably doing somewhere around 1500.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And the moon character is another Tela. 3 is the limit for Stupid Sexy Flanders, though. Not 4. 4 is just insane. What are you thinking? But yeah, very smart save scumming there, saving back on the Earth, so you can just reset out of the character check and go right back to earthly duties here. Means if that he has to go through the Lunar Subterrain, he'll still have to re-trigger that cutscene, but in the short term, I think that's probably the smarter play to do here. And now it is up to him in the tower. We know that the Atom is there. We do not know what is behind that tower key. So we will be finding that out shortly here. Meanwhile, Gambit is into his Plague fight.
Shouldn't have too much difficulty with Plague at this spot. This spot has less than 3000 HP, so should be able to take it out with just a few swings.
Oh, now that's interesting to know. I had never considered the idea of getting Count on you while you already have a status effect, but apparently the game doesn't treat it as a status effect, since it lets you have that and Poison on at the same time. Always learning new stuff about this game. It's crazy. There's Valvalis. Ordinarily a nasty fight, but this is a very, very nice place to see it. This fight is relatively free for most bosses here. You just got to make sure you can hit her.
Yeah, one swing from Edge, taking her out.
Yeah, not a problem there. Even if his character's having accuracy problems against Valvalis, the Dart command actually has guaranteed accuracy. It will always hit if it can hit. So that is an out that you have against Tornado Valvalis if you ever run into that in your seeds.
The aim command from Rosa as well can be really helpful against Valvalis. That also has guaranteed accuracy. Although it's hard to pull aim strats off without a Rosa to aim with.
That is true. We've got the Artemis bow, but no one really worthy of wielding it just yet. Gambit's sitting on a small fortune in gold right now from all the amazing loot that we've had without anyone able to pick it up. He's going to pick himself up some sirens here, it looks like. And here is the Milon Z Fight for Stupid Sexy Flanders. Should be relatively academic for him as well. Not a terribly difficult fight. very, very straightforward AI script that just basically attacks. And Witella able to put Berserks and Blinks on those edges. Yeah, no, not much problem at all. And ninja swords for everybody on Gambit's side.
Yeah, it looks like he had enough money to buy 4 of them. 2 for each edge, which is going to be really nice.
Yeah, that'll be a huge damage increase for Gambit here. Yeah, fire and holy and arrows are all of Milon's weaknesses. Arrows because they had to program him being immune to earth, but since earth isn't an element in this game, the way they did it is since the Quake spell can't hit flying enemies, they put the flying flag on Milon Z to make it so that he can't be hit by Quake. But the side effect of that is that he inherits all of the weaknesses that flying enemies would have, such as thrown weapons and arrows. So something to keep in your back pocket.
And we did get a job board check from Gambit. Looks like it was a government business analyst, I think. I may have misread that.
Yeah, good to see that as frustrating as things have been, Gambit is still not tilted enough to skip the job board. So,
thanks, Sheeplauncher. Government budget analyst.
Government budget, excellent.
That makes a lot more sense.
I imagine the dwarven government budget looks like a lot of Bacchus mines and pickaxes.
Yeah.
And now we're going to see what the payoff from that tower key is. Pass, not a terrible thing to find. Not strictly necessary since we know the Darkness Crystal is in play, but that'll mean quicker access to Zeromus from StupidSecksyFlanders here.
Yeah. It's definitely a really nice thing to have, but it's not necessarily worth looking for it. You already got the Darkness Crystal and Moon access.
Yeah, it's good news for Gambit, because that means the keyless tower play isn't going to be a substantial drawback for him at this point, because there isn't anything absolutely necessary waiting for him there at that key check. So that means he is still very much in this race.
And even if he does check it, I don't think he'll be too disappointed to see the pass there. Not
at all. And now I think we are going to get our look into the Troya Vault. Get your guesses in chat for what do you think the quality of here is going to be. We will give it a rating. Open all crystal swords. Ooh. Ooh. That's a good treasury right there.
Yeah. I'd rate that probably a solid 8.5.
Yeah, I think 8 sounds good. You got the was it Musamane or was it Murasamane?
Musamane.
It was Musamane. Okay.
Sword.
Yeah. So that's one less ninja sword that he has to buy. Musamane, of course, is the best weapon for Edge. We got another Protect Ring in there, and if Kane shows his head up, got a White Lance for him. Ninja Shirt is kind of a wild card, I would say, for Edge. It's not necessarily the best armor that you can equip on him because it doesn't come with any strength on it. What it does have is super high agility and super high magic defense, which we saw actually benefiting in a race earlier in this tournament where we saw some relatively low damage rolls from Big Bang on Edge from wearing that ninja shirt. So it does have its uses.
Certainly. And that White Spear can still make a pretty decent dart, even if we don't see a cane.
That is a very good point.
Looks like Gambit's getting ready to take on his Waterhag fight.
Hope he enjoys his key here. And managed to get 3 attack commands in here. See if Waterhag has anything buffered, but should be a relatively easy fight here for him.
Yeah, he turned down the battle speed before starting this fight, so shouldn't have any issues.
It's actually a really, really heads-up play there. Really kind of showing Gambit's strong understanding of his game's mechanics. And the first boss in the 2-boss gauntlet here for StupidSecksyFlanders is the elements themselves. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, given his party strength here.
Yep. Already moving on to the second phase. I'd be surprised if we see any of the phases get more than 1 or 2 turns.
And down goes the elements fight. And now the big question of the day, is there a white mage here in Tower of Zod? Oh, meanwhile, Gambit is making a very interesting play here in the Feymarch, going after the Magus sisters. I really like this.
And we have our 5th Tella up in Zod.
Can we tempt you with a 4th Tella now, StupidSecksyFlanders? How many Tellas do you think would equal 1 white mage? Well, there's another old man. This is quite the character selection here. I mean, you know what character has been discarded that can cast white magic? Just saying. Bahamut should be no problem here. Probably just going to burst on through it. Not going to worry too much about reflecting any of those Mega Nukes.
Yeah, putting up a wall for safety, but doesn't even need to... Tella doesn't even have time to cast it before Bahamut's dissolving.
Down goes the Father of Eidolons. And we're going to get another item check here. StupidSecksyFlanders. And we've got the strategies here, Gambit017. He's got his edges berserk, so they're going to be putting out a lot of damage. The problem is that damage is not going to be localized. It's going to be spread out through those characters, so you won't be able to focus any one of them down. We'll see if this works here.
And the Earth Crystal leads to the Pan, so we got more chains.
Yeah, Pan is always an excellent item to find. Oh, the Meteo strats! Mindy is down. That is huge for Gambit.
And Sandy goes down.
Wow, he might actually be pulling this off. That is fantastic. This could be a crucial key item if he does get through the rest of this fight. Cindy does have the ability to revive the others, so he's got to be quick to finish her off. Oh, she's got to be at the end of her rope. There she goes, and Gambit has done it. That is a big play here. Let's see if it pays off.
Just a white shirt.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. Still an incredibly gutsy call by Gambit. Incredibly skilled play there to get through the fight. You just wish that there's more of a reward for it.
Well, now Tella can maybe actually be a white mage.
He's got a life staff and a white shirt, so you know. Because I was so excited there, I did not quite catch what the Sylphs gave to StupidSecksyFlanders here. It was a Dragoon Spear. Thank you very much, chat.
Another nice start, but not progression. And a pink tail from Sheila too, that's going to turn into a top tier item, but not getting any closer to any objectives.
Yeah, at this point, what top tier items would you even want? You got maybe another Masamune, but pretty loaded as far as gear goes at this point. It could be another Crystal Sword. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that would be so rude. You can't even dart the Crystal Sword.
That is true. That is just cash.
Looks like Gambit has gone to go check that tower key. Will be getting his pass. And StupidSecksyFlanders has decided to pick up this Talon from the bed in Kaipo.
Now, is he going to get rid of an edge, or is he going to get rid of a Tella?
Just taking the full heal, actually.
Yeah. I don't know if he's been to Kaipo yet. So I'm not sure if he knew what that character was, and maybe when he glanced at it, thought it was Porum. But yeah, not interested. I would have thought that was maybe picking up a Palin for a slingshot, but no, not interested at all. I'm just a little I realize there's some dead air here, but I really don't know what to say. I've never seen a team comp like this being so dedicated to this late in the game. I'm fascinated by this play here.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen it either.
But yeah, Gambit is through the tower check here. Going to find out that he's got himself a pass as well. No specific progression to be had there, and it looks like it's going to be off to Yang here for the next check. And that's going to be his Darkness Crystal, and we'll see if he decides to make an early moon play after grabbing that.
Yeah, meanwhile, StupidSecksyFlanders looks to be diving into the Lunar Subterrain. Really the last place that's available at this point to check other than those Mega Sisters in Daymarch and Cape Bahamut.
Yeah, exactly. It's this moon's got to be pretty loaded as far as progression items go, based on what we know of this seed. Now, the big question is: the moon going to be generous and just give everything you need, or is it going to give you some side quests, like give you the Baron Key? Well, no, because you still have to liberate Baron, so it could be give you the Baron Key and then have another item located in the Odin spot. Could still be some trolls left here.
We could have it just give us music and have Baron Key be behind that.
That's very true. Yeah, it could just be the music, and that leads to everything else. I would be very hesitant in this situation to leave the moon early. And using the Siren to get some Warlock grinding in. Got those mute bells earlier, so yeah, this is a very strong play.
Yeah, these Warlocks are worth a lot of experience, plus you can life glitch them, and there's 3 of them in the fight, so you can get life glitches on the first 2 you kill. It's a really great grind.
Yeah, it's especially useful if you don't have those hourglasses and are a little afraid of the more standard Gold Dragon grind, which really kind of, you don't necessarily need hourglasses to do that grind, but it can be very nasty doing it otherwise. This is a lot safer, especially since mute bells are a lot more common. Makes those Warlocks entirely free and lets you grind to your heart's content on them. Hey, the Aether's not a bad pickup either.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Gambit is getting around to that Fabul check. Looks to be trying to limit his Fabul to 2 dips. Getting the bad news about that demist location.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things like, oh, I can't believe I faded this, but then once you check in this, you're like, oh, okay, this was fine. You faded the whole time.
Yeah.
A real roller coaster of emotions this seed so far. Interesting. Using a life 2 on that Warlock to bring it back up. To kill it again for even more experience. Not something you see very often, but wanting to make as much use out of the individual sirens as he can here.
Yeah. Life 2 is not the most popular way of grinding because it's an expensive spell that has a long cast time and costs a lot of MP, but if you want to get that little bit of extra experience, it's an option.
If you've got 3 Tellas,
yeah.
What else are they going to do?
That's true.
All right, and StupidSecksyFlanders, happy with his grind so far, is going to go deeper into the Lunar Subterrain here. I've got to imagine there are some nasty fights left to see here. We've got the D-Lunars, Wyvern, Ogopogo are all still in the pool here. Most of what we would consider the free bosses we've already seen. I think Kaipo Guards and Baron Guards are the 2 notable exceptions that are still in the pool, so this could be a rough move.
Yeah, we still have the Kinazo and Golbez fights, I believe, as well.
Yes, you are correct. All things you do not want to see when you're checking bosses down here. Here comes the Ribbon Room check. Oh, and mention his name, he's going to be right there, but charging right into it here. This is going to be a very, very nasty fight for StupidSecksyFlanders because he does not have easy access to healing here. And those big waves are going to take half your health off when he does the double cast, 25% of your health when he does the single cast. That is a lot of HP to have to restore.
Yeah, and with Tella as your only healer, it's not the easiest, although that Cure 4 was quite a lot.
Indeed, usually when you're used to White Mages, a Cure 4 will get the entire party back up, but tell it's going to take a few applications of Cure 4 to get quite to that level.
The other limiting factor is that Tella does not have only has enough MP to cast Cure 4 twice before he needs to have chug an ether or something to get some more MP.
Yeah, it does have a good stock of MP, and of course with 3 Tellas, 6 Cure 4s. But yeah, MP is a very real concern when you're utilizing high-level spells with Tella this late in the game. Doing decent damage with those edges, but you got to keep in mind this has a enormous amount of HP in this spot because this is the HP of both of the D-Lunars that you would ordinarily fight here, so this might turn into a little bit of a slog, but yeah, very fast going out that damage. This might be doable here.
Meanwhile, Gambit is going up Zot, has looted the treasury, found that Masamune and that Ninja Shirt. We'll probably be getting through this without too much difficulty.
Yeah, he's got a very strong party, very good setup here to be taking on these bosses. StupidSecksyFlanders is through, found that twin harp that we were talking about. I can't imagine he's going to bail on the moon just yet, just for that one pickup. But music is on the table as a potentiality here.
Ooh, and Kinazo White Spear.
This is one of the nastiest moons you can possibly imagine. These are rough fights.
This spot's not the worst for Kinazo. The White Spear Altar doesn't have quite the amount of HP that some of the other Lunar Altars have, but it's definitely not a friendly boss here by any means.
Yeah, that is a very, very good point, and HP is a significant factor with the Kinazo fight because the wave spell that he does is based on his remaining HP. The higher HP value, just raw HP value, the more damage it does. So yeah, in the Plague spot, which is relatively low HP compared to some of the other Lunar Subterrain fights, yeah. This is probably one of the better places to fight it if you have to fight it on the moon. And that is a very manageable HP total that wave does. So yeah, looks like StupidSecksyFlanders should have this fight relatively under control. Tella deciding to contribute with a little bit of lit 1 there, but he has already crawled into his shell, so no need to worry any further about the wave spell. Just a matter of out-damaging his healing here. Today the turtle was protecting just another life staff.
Well, you've got enough Tellas that's still pretty useful.
That's true. That is our third life staff for 3 Tellas. So I mean, the 3 Tella play is paying off. So just thinking about it, it really is. It's the End of the Giant is the only character we haven't seen at this point, right? Am I forgetting about one?
That and the one that you get for liberating Baron.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's right. We have not found the Baron key, so could still be a white mage in either of those locations.
But those are the only 2. And Gambit's just finished up Zot and will be rewarded with his pan shortly.
And that's the Dark Elf at Ogopogo. Not a rough fight by any stretch of the imagination, especially when you have this many Tellas and the Dark Elves' notable lack of boss bit in its second form. A simple weak is going to spell the end there. I believe Gambit has more or less caught up to the checks that StupidSecksyFlanders is after this pan. I've got to imagine his next play is going to be the moon.
Yeah, I think for Gambit, that's going to be the only option left for him, because he's already done the Magus Sisters at this point. Might go to Cape Bahamut before diving into the Lunar Subterrain, but otherwise, that's going to be the only thing left.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he decides to tackle that moon, because that might be the big difference in how this seed unfolds. Like, if he does do Cave Bahamut first, and there's value there, goes top down, and another piece of value he needs is at the top. That could be a huge differential here. If everything's hidden behind that Twin Harp, though, StupidSecksyFlanders is squarely in the driver's seat. And down goes the Dark Elf. Ooh, big reward there. That is the other half of the Excalibur, and as soon as that is turned in, that is objective number 1. Second objective done. That leaves only the Baron key or the Lugae key to find to finish the seed off. And exiting out. So not going over to the Wyvern spot to make that check. Is he betting everything on this Twin Harp?
Looks like it.
Wow, this is a tremendous gamble here from StupidSecksyFlanders. Does drop a save point there, so he can save Scum back to the moon if this doesn't work out. It's entirely, like, we know that he is in control right now, but it's entirely likely that he's feeling behind right now. We're now 90 minutes in and still no go mode. So I can understand making this gamble here, but yeah, this could be huge. But if nothing else, we will get a look at Cave Magnus. Seaman Cat, would you maybe explain to somebody who might be new around here what's so exciting about Cave Magnus?
So, normally when you go through the game in vanilla, there's a very nice cutscene at the end of Cave Magnus where Eddie plays some music on his Twin Harp and it breaks the Dark Elf's magnetic spell which the cave is named for. However, we got bored of listening to the same music every time, so we decided to randomize it, with a number of songs, lots of them from old video games, a few pop culture references. And so, once Eddie begins to break the spell, we're going to be hearing some random music that we have no idea what it is, but we're definitely excited.
Yeah, a lot of these compositions sound absolutely wonderful with the MIDI harp rendition here. So major shout outs to Boardface and Calm Laminy for putting together these songs. So this is exciting for multiple reasons. Not only are we going to get to hear what the music is, but we're going to see if this gamble from StupidSecksyFlanders pays off. Fortunately, you're going to have to sit through a little bit of this opening fight here. And yeah, we are going to go silent here and let you enjoy DJ Spoony B's Rockin' Tunes. And well, since my static has been wiping at Eden 8 Savage for the last several weeks, probably the last thing I wanted to hear was Blue Fields, but you know, it's a pretty rendition, so we'll take it.
But just another ninja sword for giving us music, so probably not too happy about that.
Yeah, resetting out of it, don't blame him. Get back to the moon, get back to the checks there, and probably has enough hardware that he doesn't need another Mazamune to get through here.
Looks like is going to take that Magus Sisters fight before heading back to the moon, which will give Gambit a little bit more time to clean up some of these moon checks that StupidSecksyFlanders has done.
Yeah, this is big for Gambit because obviously we know this isn't required. So the more time StupidSecksyFlanders spends here, the more time Gambit can spend getting caught up on his end. He has chosen to take the same route as StupidSecksyFlanders is going bottom top. So as long as he doesn't bail out when he gets one of those key items, he can get right back on track here. It's probably going to take StupidSecksyFlanders a little bit of time to get back to the moon. I've got to imagine if he gets through the Magus Sister fight and finds nothing, he's going to revert to one of his saves back up there on the moon there. So yeah, still anybody's race at this point. And yeah, this is just going to be flat out rough here for Gambit. Tella is already down, going to be very difficult to get any kind of damage prevention in. Does have those Yang to throw around Cure 3s to keep everybody healthy. But I think... Nope, not quite enough to take Yang down, so he's okay there.
Yeah, looks like he was just waiting for the wave before liking up Tella so he could get some heals in.
Yeah, really smart play there to make sure Tella stayed alive. Probably, if that's exactly who you want Ogopogo to be hitting right now, both those frontliners, you need to keep them alive. Tella queuing up a Cure 4 here. We're going to get a double big wave here soon. Everybody's got to be above that 50% threshold to stay alive. Let's see if he can manage it. And looks like he's in the clear, except for Yang. That's totally fine. Yang is just there to absorb hits and throw out potions. And Gambit is through. Very, very well done. A very difficult fight with the limited resource he has available. That image spell is going to be very useful for his edges too, because that'll let them set up blink on themselves. And it doesn't look like he's going to take the bait here from the Twin Harp. He's going to keep going here on the moon, which is definitely good for him.
Yeah. Meanwhile, StupidSecksyFlanders has finished up the Magus Sisters fight, reset out of that white shirt, is going to go forge the Excal and take care of that objective while he's down on the blue planet, and then we'll probably head back up to the moon to clear out the spots he left behind.
Yep, gotta imagine that is his play. We'll see if the Coco Forge has anything good for sale here. Of course, this is a notoriously high tier shop, so it can be really good to unlock this and get some seriously good items. I'm looking at those crystal rings, those Zeus gauntlets both look good to me.
For sure.
And of course, the Excalibur itself is a very good dartable weapon, so that is not undesirable in and of itself. Gambit, meanwhile, is grinding his way through that Kagnazo fight at the Plague spot. Gosh, and given how rude this seed has been so far, you've got to imagine that Zeus at Bahamut, that Odin at Bahamut has got to be holding something.
Yeah. Would not surprise me at this point.
And it looks like that is exactly where StupidSecksyFlanders is going. We'll see if he decides to take it on or nopes out like Gambit did. And if he does take it on, if he just decides to go for an honest fight or tries to hit the lit weakness for the insta-kill. It'll be interesting to see if he tries to go down that route.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit concerned about survivability at this spot, surviving through all the Odin attacks on all of the Tellas, but the edges should be able to survive long enough.
Throwing out that Silk Web on Odin, that's a very heads-up play there. You're going to want to squeeze out as much time as you can. Against Odin, it is really a race against that Zentatsuken that he throws out, so yeah, trying to get in as many turns as possible is definitely the right play here. There's the raised sword. Really putting out a strong amount of damage here. Is it enough? It is!
With the lit 3 from Tella, no less.
Excellently played there by StupidSecksyFlanders. Gets through the fight. Let's see how he is rewarded. It's a spoon!
It's another dart.
It's another strong dart. A great weapon for all those Edwards we've thrown away. But that is not progression. So it is something at the Pale Dim altar or the Wyvern altar.
We might be seeing both of those checks before too long if Gambit decides to stay in the Lunar Subterrain and heads up to the Crystal Sword altar. Well, StupidSecksyFlanders, I'd have to imagine, would check the Pale Dim altar first, being that it's the closer one to the top.
Yeah, right you are. So this will be very, very interesting. And if Gambit does stay up here, does get the right key items he needs to put himself in go mode, then you got to start thinking about the end game, because while StupidSecksyFlanders has had an advantage here, his team is not exactly what I would call Zeromus ready. Now, I mean, being someone who is very familiar with the C5 flag set, or what used to be C5, where you only have 5 distinct characters, you'd run into many, many flags where you would not have access to a white mage, and you really learn how long a stack of life potions and a stack of tier 3s can take you. But none of those Tellas are going to be able to survive a Big Bang. So then it's just Edge and Edge. And, while Edge is a strong character, he's always going to be susceptible to a high-roll Big Bang. So it's going to be interesting to see how StupidSecksyFlanders approaches this.
Yeah. Finding CPU at the Pale Dim spot is not exactly ideal. This bot has quite a bit of health, and it's gonna be slow. It's not gonna be hard, it's just gonna be slow at this spot.
Yeah, absolutely. He's already uncorking all of those darts there. Don't blame him one bit. You want to get through this fight as quickly as humanly possible. And Leviathan at Wyvern Spot is not the worst thing to find there.
No, the magic at the Crystal Sword Altar is relatively low. And when Leviathan only does HP percentage-based damage and Ice 2s, not very threatening at all.
And everything, including the kitchen sink, getting thrown at this CPU here. StupidSecksyFlanders just wants to be done with it. There we go. The big node is down. Now it's just a matter of taking out the last remaining small bit.
Simultaneous boss dissolves.
Alright, this is going to be a simultaneous key item check, so prepare your hype. One of these is going to be the big reward. Baron Key for StupidSecksyFlanders, and just an Avenger for Gambit. That's go mode for StupidSecksyFlanders. Now he's got to get this team in shape to fight Zeromus.
Yeah, I'm curious how this Zeromus fight is going to work with 3 Tellas and 2 Edges.
The only thing I can imagine is that you have one Edge berserked going in hard, and the other Edge is just sitting back playing Chemist. It's not ideal, but it can work. You just gotta keep crossing your fingers during every big bang, if not trying to nerf them openly, because any one of them can take your Edges out.
Yeah. With the ninja shirt, the one Edge might be pretty safe, but that other way, the other Edge is looking pretty scary.
Okay, this is great from Gambit. He is going to that Pale Dim altar, so he is going to have the Baron Key as well, and will also be in go mode after this fight. So not taking the bait of the Twin Harp. So this is still a very, very close race here. I think it's all going to come down to what character we see in the Baron Castle here. Whether it is something that StupidSecksyFlanders can slingshot forward to give them the edge they need in Zeromus. If it's another Tella, I mean, who knows at this point?
Yeah.
I want to say that right now, if it's a useless character in Baron, I think Gambit has got the better party for Zeromus because of that Yang. He has enough HP to comfortably survive big bangs, can act as a fantastic chemist in that regard, throwing items out to keep the other edges alive. So even though Gambit is behind right now, I would still give him the edge in a Zeromus fight if they both had to go into the fight with the parties they currently have.
Yeah, and that Eddie on Gambit's side is also a really great chemist, even if he doesn't have the HP to survive big bangs. Because he doesn't need HP to survive big bangs if he can just hide from all the big bangs.
Yeah, that is an excellent point, actually. You can do quasi-Eddie strats, where he just kind of goes away and acts as a perfect backup. Just like the excellent emergency to pull out of hiding when things go wrong.
The Edges in StupidSecksyFlanders party getting some resolution with their parents.
Yeah, always nice to work things out.
Yeah. You know, gotta make sure that you put your parents to rest before you go fight Zeromus.
I know no parent will openly admit it, but do you think Edge's parents had a favorite Edge?
Ooh, I don't know.
Maybe the blue one, they're always kind of embarrassed by the orange one. What kind of self-respecting ninja wears orange? I mean, honestly.
It is a very bright color.
All right, Stupid Sexy Flanders is through, and the character is Sid. And no Sid going into the fight with 2 edges and 3 Tellas. This is going to be something to see.
Yeah, and as chat pointing out, still no pure white mage. This entire seed.
This is definitely going to be exciting to watch. I mean, there's a lot of times, when you've set up for an optimal approach to Zeromus, that the fight itself is kind of a formality, just going through it, making sure, things can always go bad because of the randomness of Big Bang. But this is one that is going to be definitely exciting to watch. And the Lugae key behind the Baron key there, so this is the only route. And there's our crystal.
Not stopping to grind looks like just going straight for that Zeromus fight. I mean, he's definitely got the levels.
Yeah, he does indeed. Did I see that right? Did one of his edges have almost 3,000 HP?
I must have missed it, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's substantial. I did not realize he had gotten his levels up quite that high, so that is a little bit safer. So yeah, level 56. Okay, so yeah, that is a lot more HP than you would have if you were going in, say, like the mid 40s to early 50s that you would normally go into Zeromus. 56 is very, very high. So yeah, that is, as long as they're at max HP, they're relatively safe from big bangs. So this might be a slow fight, but it is certainly doable. Well, we're going to the Zeromus fight, and I see a bunch of flags in chat, and Xenocat, considering this is your first time in the comms booth, I would be delighted if you would ask the question that is on everybody's tongue right now.
Well,
it's okay, you can do it, I believe. Just deep breath, reach deep.
Whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
Flawless, excellently done. So while Zeromus is the perfect capstone fight to a good old Final Fantasy IV seed, we wouldn't want to take that away, and we leave Z where he is at the end of this seed. But we still randomize a little bit about him. Scala Kitty has come up with a smorgasbord of sprites that are alternative looks for Zeromus once you hit him with the crystal. So one of the most fun things in any seed is to see what he ends up with at the end. So let's see his true colors after this crystal. That is Zodiarchmus. That is a lovely sprite there.
Yeah.
And there goes the Silk Web that is going to get the 2 layers of slow on Zeromus and trigger the opening counter nuke here. It's going to nerf the first Big Bang that Zeromus casts and make it much more manageable. That is exactly who you want that nuke to hit too, so that is excellent luck there for Stupid Sexy Flanders, but man, still very, very fast here.
Looks like he's zerked up one edge, just using the other one to dart any remaining darts that he has left over from that CPU fight.
Yeah, the big advantage there is doing some initial burst damage before you set up the Bacchus wines to get berserked. Is that you're pushing closer to that second phase, and by doing that, you're essentially resetting his AI script. So if he's getting close to a big bang, and then you push him over the edge into that next phase, you can essentially earn some free time because he's got to reset. He's got to charge up the big bang again. And if timed properly, it can put you in a really, really strong position. These edges dishing out a lot of damage, so this is going pretty well so far. Here is the first unnerfed Big Bang, and very, very manageable there.
Yeah, both edges surviving with enough HP to take out another one of those, if it rolls that low.
And he's actually getting Tella up to do some Cure 4 action here. Yeah, not bad.
With how much that Cure 4 is healing, I would get that Tella up, too.
Yeah, absolutely. White shirt plus life staff, and even Tella's going to do respectable healing there. And another Big Bang, and yep, very, very manageable here. Just going to keep his one Chemist Ninja, keeping this party going, and by golly, he might just do it.
Yeah. I have to say I'm impressed with this Tella.
Yeah, getting way more use out of this Tella than I ever would have imagined seeing at this level of play, but I mean, that's what you see in these, high level competitive tournament play, is just people pulling out all of the stops. And I really have just been fascinated and really enjoyed seeing this. This has been wild.
Yeah, Tella even eating that direct nuke to the face like it's nothing.
So we still have to be concerned about the switch into the final phase. There's always the chance of a Big Bang into Meteo, and that could spell doom if it hits at the wrong time. We'll see what happens. Okay, here's another Big Bang.
Ooh, that was a high roll.
Yeah, seems like it. That might have been one of the... Oh, and there's the Big Bang into Meteo. Oh, this could be devastating. And one of the edges dodges it. So both edges are still up. Might be enough to get him through here. Gets the life off on Tella. Got to get some more healing up before the next Meteo goes out. And no, that's enough damage. We've got it. And StupidSecksyFlanders wins in exciting fashion here, surviving the dreaded Big Bang into Meteo with a clutch dodge. What a finish to the first fight of this Magma route. GG's and well earned. That was just one of those races where a single wipe on Zeromus could have spelled a win or a loss. I believe we are joined here by StupidSecksyFlanders himself. I believe we are actually not, and I misheard that, but we should be shortly. Gambit throwing his crystal, going to give us another look at Zodiarchmus here. And then should be setting up for very similar strats. I believe over on Gambit's screen, we're going to be able to see a comfortable berserk on both of his edges, with Yang acting as the chemist, as opposed to StupidSecksyFlanders, where he had to keep one of his edges in reserve here. Yeah, there goes the first Bacchus here. There's the second one.
Actually looks to be zerking up his Yang.
Interesting. Might be relying entirely on that Edward then. If we see the hide here, let's see. Yep, there's the hide. So I like this here. The more berserkers you can get in Zeromus fight, the better. Just to get that Q clogged and deny as many turns as you can to Zeromus. So yeah, getting all of that damage going out and then relying entirely on that hidden Eddy to get the healing out. That is a very gutsy and very strong play from Gambit here.
Yeah, and there's not that much that can really put an Eddy chemist in danger until Nuke phase.
Yeah, exactly. Then you have to be a little bit careful because he's going to follow up the big bangs with the nukes there instead of charging up another one after the first one. So you have less time to get out. You really have to understand not only the AI script for Zeromus, but where you are at specifically in that script in order to employ Edward this way. But looks like Gambit is feeling very comfortable with it.
Looks like he's going to use the Eddy to get Tella back up to get an area heal rather than tossing potions on individual party members.
Yeah, very, very smart call. That's going to, as far as turn economy goes, that is going to be way more useful and get everybody up to a healthy part much quicker. I know Gambit is an XCOM enthusiast, so he, of all people, knows a lot about turn economy. Oh, was that a miss menu there? Might not have actually hit the right in time to get the all target. Instead, just getting the Cure 4 on Edward there. So a little bit of a missed input, but hopefully we'll be able to recover. And speaking of recovery, I believe we've got StupidSecksyFlanders in here. SSF, hey, GG, and I guess we got to ask you first. Triple Tella? Tell us about that.
Okay, so my logic at that when I saw the third one, I'm like, okay, I just found a curse ring. I have 2 edges and a Yang. I don't really think I need the Yang anymore, and I'm sure I'm gonna find someone else other than Tella at some point in the seed. So for the boss that was coming up in the hook, I think that's where I picked up the third Tella. I was like, it's probably better for me to have more access to Blink and Berserk rather than to have Yang swing. And then I never found anyone other than Tella and Eddy. So there you go. And Sid.
Well, I mean, it worked out. The big stopping point here for Gambit was that Rubicant fight. And you got through quicker because you had access to more access to that Blink spell and those Tella versions of curing that you had ended up being the edge. So it worked out for you.
Yeah, just destroying Rubicant with Ice 3s was very chef's kiss. It was very wonderful. Yes.
So tell us about how you were feeling going into the Z fight, knowing that you were bringing this full house party of two ninjas and 3 old men. How were you feeling? Were you feeling pretty confident?
I was not feeling confident at all. One of the things I really need to work on is nerfing the big bangs after the first one. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it, but I figured that Edge was probably going to be fast enough to be able to life Tella, and then I could sneak in Cure 4s. I had enough Ethers. So on that front, I was like, if I have the speed, this is going to work. But I thought I was going to wipe. I thought either this is going to completely work or I'm just going to wipe in the first 20 seconds of the battle or something like that. So I'm really glad it worked. And I'm glad the bottom edge was able to do enough damage to carry me through that fight decently.
How many years off your life do you think the Big Bang and the Meteor took off?
I was just like, as long as I can just pull through, I think I can get that 12,000 out. But I was definitely like, my jaw tensed up there. I'll say that much about it. Yeah.
Let's see, Xenocat, did you have anything you wanted to ask?
No, not really. It was mostly about the triple Tella.
Yeah, don't try that at home, folks.
Yeah, these are trained professionals in the Magma round.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, you've got your all-important first win here in the Magma round. So you are 1 win away from clinching a spot in at least one of the play-in races. How are you feeling about the competition coming up, and what sorts of adjustments are you going to make going forward?
I think I'm going to be practicing, like I said, the nerfing Big Bang. I need to watch a video on that or something, because I cannot seem to master that no matter what I do. Just making a couple of better decisions here and there. But honestly, this was just a long seed, I feel like, and it seems like Gambit had the same thing. I think Gambit told me he was, 16 out of 17? I was 17 out of 17? I think it's just a matter came down to that Rubicant fight for me.
Yeah, it was. There was not a lot nice about this seed, which I guess is to be expected considering you rolled it. Anyway,
Yeah.
Congratulations! Thank you for such an absolutely exciting opening match here for the Magma round, and really setting the tone. Phenomenal finish, and thanks for putting on a great show. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, it's been cool. Thanks for streaming me. Appreciate it, folks. Take care.
Take care. That was StupidSecksyFlanders taking the first win here. I believe we are also joined by Gambit. Gambit, real tough loss. You really played that seed really well. What were kind of your overall thoughts on everything there?
Although this was a Scala Kitty Classic seed, I choose to blame Dathis for that Rubicante.
Yeah, that was really when you get a chance to watch this seed back, I think you'll realize that was really the make or break point between you and your opponent here. It was just the extra time on the Rubicant fight. Everything else was done incredibly well. You took what you had of that seed. What were your feelings on sort of the party members offered?
I was getting concerned. I was like, where's a white mage? I can use a white mage. Please find a white. No white mages at all. But finding so many life stats and then that white shirt at the end, getting Tella giving 4 digits on the Cure 4s, I was like, we'll be okay without a white mage. Plus, I know I saw Cure 3s in Overworld shop, but I forgot by the end of the seed where they were. That's why I went to Silvera real fast before I went through Baron and tried to find them. Didn't see them, like, screw it, I gotta go. I saw the typing in chat. I'm like, let's go. And just like, I'll make do without. Let's just do it.
Well, it ended up working out, so that was good there. Were you sort of feeling behind once you got into the underground there, and did that sort of affect your routing going forward?
Yeah, I felt very behind, taking like 3 or 4 wipes. I don't remember exactly how many it was to Rubicante before I finally got through. I felt so behind. That's why I immediately just stopped and said, okay, there's a Milon on top of tower. I can do that. Let's just do it now. I'm going to start taking gambles. That's why I full cleared Fade March in 1 shot. I'm like, I've got to take gambles. I am so far behind. And nothing paid out.
That was so well done against that Magus Sisters fight with a relatively underpowered party there. Oh gosh, I was pulling so hard that would pay off, but unfortunately, just the white shirt there. But I guess that helps Tella actually do some healing there in the end.
Yeah, it paid off in the long run, but in the moment, it was like, that's not what I need. But yeah, that was a seed. And as, again, after Ruby, I felt behind the entire way to the point where I'm watching the room going, why is there not done? Where's Flanders at? Why is he not finished yet? Put me out of my misery here. But to finish only 6 minutes behind was I'm not too upset about going 0-1 with that kind of finish. I would have rather pulled out the win, and I put myself in a hole in the Magma group. But this seed, I'll take it.
Yeah, no, and like we said, this was a really rough one. So yeah, absolutely nothing to be ashamed with the way you played. You dealt with the hand that you were given exceptionally well. Just a little bit of trouble on the one fight just ended up being the difference. So with that in mind, what you still got 2 races left. Got to take both of them in order to make it to the play-in race. What are you thinking about doing any changes? Anything you want to focus on going into your next race?
Not fighting Rubicante at Rubicante.
Generally good life advice. And
yeah, going back to that fight, because I know that's where everything turned on me. I was like, okay, I've got 2 edges with long blades. I've got a Tella who should be able to heal decently even at that time. Like, I can brute force my way through this, right? No. So yeah, I don't want to see Rubicante at Rubicante ever again. I'm good. I'm also very, getting the loss here, having to basically run the table the next 2 weeks is going to be rough because Magma Group is just a murderous row of good FE players. And I am not looking forward to whoever I end up having to get matched up with, because it's going to be one heck of a fight.
Yeah, definitely not an easy group of people to fight against, but you played wonderfully here tonight. As long as you keep that kind of play up and the dice roll in your favor, I think you've got a really strong chance of making it through. So, can't wait to see you in your upcoming races here, Gambit.
Thank you so much. Thank you and Xenocat for doing comms for us, Jeebus for doing the tracking, Zoe for restreaming. You guys do a great job putting on the show. I appreciate it. I'm going to go de-stress from this one and find a Rubicante plushie online to buy so I can throw it off of a tall building.
Sounds good. Sounds like some good, healthy coping mechanisms there.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great rest of the evening.
All right, take care, Gambit. I think that about does it for our very first Magma Route match here. And what a great one. Xenocat, how'd you like that match? And how'd you like being in the comms booth for the first time?
I feel like I did a lot better than I thought I would.
Oh, you did. No, you did fantastic. It's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure being with you here today. We are going to shoot you over to Randomania 3. We've got another match already in progress here in the Hook division. It's Y2 Sky versus Bacon Pie. Nice rhyming matchup there for you. So for our restreamer, Zoe Vermillion, our tracker, Jeebus, and my co-commentator, Xenocat, I am Smeepy, and thank you so much for watching, everybody.